All right, guys, so this is a process of me installing the Blitz oil cooler kit onto the GRD6, which I looked up the Greddy one, and it's a very similar process since it's on the side of the rig. All right, so before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take this O-ring off, put it on here. We're going to put the sandwich plate, install the sandwich plate onto the oil, where the oil filter goes. So this is how it's supposed to go. The O-ring you put in the lip, in that little divot, and then you put this upside down. And then after that, you just put this on top. Make sure that when you move it around, you're moving the entire piece, not just the sandwich plate. So after that, I'm going to move this way. And what I'm going to do is pretty much go ahead and keep it like this for now. And the reason why I want to keep it like this for now is because I still need to be able to adjust it so that way I can get it in those divots. And then make the lines go all the way through. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the little screw on right there. So you just go ahead and slip that in. And then from here, you get this torqued down to spec. I'm going to find out what the spec is to get this torqued down to. And it says 20 foot-pounds, so we should be good to go at a relatively low pace. So it only took me about 30 minutes to do it because, oh my goodness, putting this thing together was a pain in the dick. But I managed to get it done. So the air diverter, not diverter, is now put on and is going to be sticking right around there. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. This one is going to go right here. Then, as we can see here, this one is going to go towards the bottom. Yeah, so that's where that's going to go. And then this one is also going to go at the bottom here, and it's going to face upwards. So it's going to be right here. Alrighty guys, so I've managed to get the oil cooler sort of mounted. So what you got to do is you're going to have to disconnect the horn, and what you're going to do is put the horn behind this bracket that connects here. Alrighty, what's up guys? So update, we got it on finally, and it is currently 6:30. I started at around 4-ish, maybe earlier than that, so I'm 3 hours in, which it shouldn't be taking that long, but I'm making things complicated. So anyway, attached the bracket to where I needed to, attached it here, and then attached it to here. Really?
What happened?
I gotta get in here. This right here, number 4. I don't know what the fuck this goes through. And that's the part. That's the part right there. Okay. So, let me throw these off. Oh yeah, I got both of these off, so I no longer have these in the way. So then these are regarding these flaps here. No longer need it. Okay, I think I see exactly what this is. That. Hold on, let's see. You and I are figuring out things together. We are. Okay, so this is your wiper fluid reservoir. We take this clip out. We put this there. It basically acts as a spacer. So you put that there, boom. Alrighty, guys, so now I've mounted the bracket right here. And so what you had to do was get a 10 mil ratchet behind the frame here and get a deep socket and tighten this baby down, or you could just go ahead and get an adjustable wrench. It'll do the same damn thing. And then you go ahead and do the same process here, except you don't need the deep socket this time because you have enough room to fit your ratchet here. You just hold a wrench here, boom, diggity dog, boom. So now what we can do is, now that this is out of the way, we'll go ahead and get my hose here. I don't have any real hose, so this is all I got for you guys. And unfortunately, it's not as sexy as, you know, real hose. And so then you get your protective layer here, and you just go ahead and cut it off. Wrap this around your hose. Unlike, you know, wrapping your body around your hose because you don't want them to leave. You know, and basically, what this is going to be doing is, like a man wearing tight underwear, you do not want to chafe. What we're going to do is put a layer above it, in between the skin and the underwear, and it's going to prevent us from chafing. So this has to be one of the most difficult tasks that I've ever done to the car, and that's including the suspension. Now, this came out perfectly. This came out all right. Now, instead of me doing the 45, you know, at an upwards area, it had to go sideways because that was how it was going to fit. Now, that being said, you know, I also had to reroute it. Instead of both lines going through, let me go ahead and show you this way. Instead of both lines going through this, where this hose is going, where it's supposed to be, I couldn't do that because it wasn't going to fit. I tried and I tried and I tried. And in order for me to do this without compromising anything whatsoever, I had to do this. So instead, I routed it to the inside next to the radiator. Now, in order to prevent these lines from touching, and you'll see right here, it's not, there's a tiny little gap in between. I had to go ahead and zip tie it to this brace right here. So the other one came through the normal route, went underneath the headlight. Now, I had, in order to get this, to prevent this from, you know, sticking out all the way over here, I had to go ahead and snake it underneath here. So when I get the new air filter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on, and then I'm just going to slip this right underneath. So I have to make sure that none of the lines are pinching, of course, which they're not. Everything seems to have a decent flow. Okay, so now let's get to the hard part. So obviously, as you can tell, you get to this line, easy as day. It's exposed right here. You know, all I got to do, take this adjustable wrench and twist. Boom. This one, on the other hand, and let me go ahead and turn that on, was the bitch. Now I managed to tighten it as best as I possibly could. It's not as tight as this, as you can see. There's just a slightly bigger gap, but overall I had the most trouble getting it. So what I had to do was I alternated between this and these vice grips. I had to go ahead and adjust it to where this will fit almost perfectly, you know, and then I'll go ahead and twist it. And then once I had enough room, I would then go ahead and use the adjustable wrench. Now all I got to do is tighten these two, and I got to tighten up the adjusters so that way they don't move anymore, because right now you can move it freely. And then from there we are golden. From there, what I can do is go ahead, I'll put the oil filter on, which I got another one inside the car. I already drained out all the oil. I got 7 quarts, and I'm gonna be putting that in. Once I put it in, I will cycle it and then see how much I really need left, and then we'll go ahead and run it, and we should be good from there. Once this is golden, we do not have to worry about cooling anymore. And if I ever have to rebuild this engine, believe me, I'm going to take all of this apart. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to take the radiator out. We're going to put the oil cooler on first, and then we'll reinstall everything else. Because, oh my gosh, this thing is a bitch and a half. Now, I know a bunch of people that haven't had this issue like I have. But that's also to say, unfortunately, this is something that I'm new at. Alright guys, so we're not going to do any recaps or anything like that. But pretty much, I started off with the sandwich plate. Then I got the hose all the way down in. And I tightened everything up. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to tighten these two. I guess you can call them nuts because they're not bolts. And whatever. Let me actually tighten them. Let me go ahead. Let me put this right here. Ow. Fucking punched myself in the damn face. Alright. Okay. Oh, man. I don't have a 27, but you need 20 foot-pounds on this. Alright. Other than that, I'm done. I'm burnt out. Oh, that's the wrong way. Let me tighten that back up. Alrighty. And we're done, guys. Now, I would show you the process of me filling her back up with oil, turning it back on. But as you guys know, my oil filter has yet to come in. So this is where I'm gonna cut it off. There's a bunch of videos out there of you having to do this. Greddy is the most similar one. And I would look up a Greddy oil cooler kit install. That's the closest you'll get. But the only key difference that you're really gonna have is the way this is mounted. So obviously this is how you're going to want it to be. So this one's going to go inside this way, and this one is going to come around this way. And you're going to see right here, this is the 90-degree one. And then you're going to see right here, it goes in between the headlight and the radiator. And that's the one that is the 45-degree on here. I'm burnt out, guys. I really don't feel like doing this anymore. And the fact that I even have to wait for this oil or this air filter, it just irritates me even more. So I am hoping everything settles down. I'm going to call Perrin, see what the deal is, and hopefully we'll get this air filter on, and I can show you guys exactly what we're looking at.